Williams showed its new car in a typically workmanlike launch at Silverstone. The team had an amazing season in 2000, and though both BMW and Jenson Button made their Formula One debuts side by side, the FW23 was pretty much on the pace from the word go, and so was Button. With stalwart Ralf Schumacher there to provide stability, the team ended the season third in the Constructors Championship, which not many of us would have bet on. But even as Frank Williams was planning to replace Button with Montoya, BMW was planning to replace its first Formula One engine with another. Design work on this year's power plant started ahead of last year's Australian Grand Prix because BMW acknowledged that the unit they'd got might win occasional races, but not a championship. Maybe that was the way Frank Williams and Patrick Head viewed Jenson Button, although once again they'd been planning ahead, and it's widely accepted that the decision to go with Montoya for this season was made well in advance of the discovery that Button was as good as he is.
I think we've got two remarkably competitive drivers. One is clearly a little bit of an unknown in the Grand Prix car, but I don't think there's much doubt in this team about what he can do. I don't suppose they'll get on marvellously, but that's not what's important. What's important is what they do on the track.
Two good drivers, though one of them is an unknown in a Formula One car, and of course a new car that's been built to the new regulations, which makes that an unknown as well.
It's still in very early stages. The car you saw today is not going to be the car which you will see in Melbourne. There's still some changes going to happen, but I'm relatively confident that we have a reasonably good car, but how good it is at the end of the day, I'll find out in Melbourne.
Most media attention is bound to focus on Montoya, though, the gruff Colombian who won the kart title and the Indy 500 at the first time of asking, and who apparently feels talented enough not to make concessions or allowances towards his teammates, thus putting the pressure on himself to perform well straight away.
And it's very difficult to say what's going to happen through the season or anything. You know, I'm trying as hard as I can to do my best. If you really think about it, you have to. You know, for me, I'm like brand new here as well, so I got to learn the tracks, learn the car, learn the engine, the tire, and so far it seems things are going on quite well.
After a surprisingly good year in 2000, the team is now under pressure as well to perform at a similar level in a season where the goalposts have very definitely been moved. New aerodynamic regulations, new crash test regulations, new electronics regulations on the way by mid-season, and the appearance of a second tyre manufacturer, Michelin, with whom the team has opted to run this year, all making it difficult to make predictions or set targets.
Well, easy answer, finish every race. Both cars, brilliant pit stops, great strategy, and maybe a win or two if those grey cars and red cars make a mistake.
But for Williams, like all the other teams who've signed off on new cars, the die is cast and they can only wait to see how well they perform in Melbourne. Or in Williams' case, Silverstone the same afternoon. It was Williams who established this as the pattern for serious Formula One launches. No frills, no dancing girls, just a racing car that works today. Within a few hours of the wraps coming off, the FW23 was ready to go, and once again Ralf Schumacher was the driver who got to sample it first, although it's certainly not the first time he's tried the new for 2001 engine. Smaller, lighter and more powerful than its predecessor, the new unit should give the FW23 a useful boost, and it will be useful in a season where the regulations have made the biggest change for several years. Aside from the bigger and stronger side pods to provide better driver protection and the need for stronger roll bars, the reduction in rear wing surface via the limit on the number of elements it contains, plus the raising of the front wing, means a reduction in overall downforce that most teams have been working in the wind tunnel to recover. Naturally, they've all been saying that they're pleased with their own results, but won't know how they compare to other people's work until Melbourne. Roughly speaking, a modern Formula One car generates its own weight in downforce at about 100 miles an hour, and that's what the rules have been trying to rob them of, and designers have been trying to claw back in the wind tunnel. The changes were introduced in anticipation that the arrival of Michelin would start a technology war that would increase grip and thereby reduce lap times. So the rule changes were a sort of deliberate handicap. It will be more noticeable at some circuits than others, places like Monaco, where the cars normally run lots of wing, and there will be a burst of aerodynamic development during the year, so that by the end of the season we can expect that lap times will be pretty much the same as they were at the same point last year.